I have read many books that have changed my life in incremental ways. But there is only one book I have read that has dramatically changed the course of my life. It's because it saved the life of my daughter. I gave birth to my daughter staring at 25 strangers, staring back at me through the V of my bent legs just over the head of my OBGYN. And I didn't notice any of them. To understand why, you'd have to rewind 10 days, when I was sitting, quite pregnant, and a doctor was telling me, "We aren't sure that your daughter will live once she is separated from your body." My daughter was whisked to the NICU unit at Seattle Children's Hospital soon after she was born. While there, we started to understand what was happening with her heart. It flowed backwards. The strong chambers of her heart pumped to her lungs. The weak chambers of her heart pumped to her body. She was effectively drowning in her own blood with every breath she took. We were lucky. We were able to take her home. But over the next 3 months, we watched my daughter grow 4 inches without gaining a single pound because she burned more calories breathing than she could consume. Every time she cried, she turned a blackish blue-purple. A baby that couldn't cry. We knew that this was not going to work long-term. The doctors at Children's Hospital and the entire heart surgery group had gotten together, and they determined, because this was such a rare case, that my daughter needed 2 heart surgeries. One to band her heart, to make it so that she could breathe more easily and eat, so that she could grow to get bigger, and her heart would get bigger before they gave her an extremely complicated surgery called the double switch. The problem with this solution was that this would make it so that she would have developmental delays, both physical and mental, possibly long-term damage. We didn't like this idea. My husband and I, we searched and looked for possibilities everywhere. We wanted to believe that the doctors at Children's Hospital were missing something. And that's when we remembered the NICU nurse who had handed us a book and said, "I think you should read this." The book was called Walk on Water, The Miracle of Saving Children's Lives by Michael Ruhlman. It was about a doctor named Dr. Roger Mee, who was out of the Cleveland Clinic, who did surgery on babies' hearts. Would everybody lift up your fist? Look at your fist. Did you know that your fist is about the size of your heart? Now imagine the fist of a 3-month-old. That's about the size of my daughter's heart when she needed this surgery. It's about the size of a strawberry, except for this strawberry is deflated because when they do surgery, they stop blood flow through the heart and it makes it collapse. The doctors at Children's Hospital thought it was impossible to do such a complicated surgery on a strawberry, a deflated strawberry like that. But we heard about this doctor, and he happened to be the world's expert at the one surgery my daughter needed. He had done more than any other surgeon on earth of this one double switch. In fact, rumor had it, a Saudi Arabian prince kidnapped him so he'd do surgery on his son. We sent all of her documentation in a flurry off to him and asked, "Could you do this?" He wrote back and he said, "Yes." So my husband and I, we hung out on our deck with two different options in front of us, playing God with our child's life, trying to decide, were we going to go with Children's Hospital, the entire heart surgeon department at Children's Hospital, who vehemently disagreed with the idea that this surgery could be done on such a small heart? Or would we go with the world's heart expert on this one surgery. We decided to go to Cleveland Clinic and have Dr. Mee do her surgery. And thank goodness we did. When we got there, 2 weeks prior, he had just announced his retirement. My daughter's double switch was the last one he ever did. My daughter is a thriving 16-year-old. who dreams of writing her own books. And I myself is somebody who never dreamed of ever writing a book. And yet I have now written several as a result of the journey I have been on that started that day back in the doctor's office. Every book I write or I sign Believe in Infinite Possibilities. 2 people's lives were dramatically changed as a result of one NICU nurse who referred us to a book about a man who saves children's lives.